Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a very quick granny square tutorial. We're going to make something that looks like this, but I wanted to show you one of my more recent projects right here, which I love, but this is one that had some really bright colors on it. So I'm going to be able to show you what part of the process we're in. And so what you are going to need as far as supplies today is you're going to need a hook. I use a 4 for this one today. I really like the 3.5. I feel like it's a little cleaner, a little smaller, but today for our purposes, we use a 4. We need a needle. We need some scissors, and then I'm gonna suggest you have at least 2 colors of yarn so that you can see the different layers. And then if you ever want to go and do just one color, it's going to be easy peasy because you know how to do multiples. All right, first we are going to do a slip knot, and then we are going to make 4 chains. We're going to chain 4. Wow, sorry guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we're going to be double crocheting 3 back into that very first chain. 1, 2, and 3. So if we look back at that example that I showed you guys, there are 4 little, let's call them petals. Okay, so we've just made our first little petal, and if you've noticed, there are holes here, so we're about to make our first little hole. So we're going to chain 2. Some people might do longer chains. That's just my special number. Then we're going to double crochet back into that very first stitch. So double crochet 3 times again. So 1, 2, 3. So we should be able to see that little hole starting right here. This is what we're working towards. So again, we're going to chain 2, and we'll keep doing this until we have 4 petals. So chain 2, double crochet 3, back in. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we are going to, so I guess it's 1, 2, 3, so we're going to need 1 more. And I'm going to pause to show you guys, I sort of crochet over my tail, especially in the very beginning. Pull that a little tighter. Just makes it easier to weave those ends. You can do whatever you want with that tail, whatever's more comfortable for your hands, but I normally I normally crochet over it a little bit. So chain 2. Now we're gonna do our last set of double crochets. It is again gonna be 3s. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we need to make 1 more of these little holes. So I'm going to slip stitch into this second from the hole. So it's like the top stitch right there. But I do need, I almost forgot, I do need to do the 2 chains. So chain 1, 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that top portions right next to the hole. And then I'm going to fasten off. You do want to leave enough that you can weave And then I'm just gonna pull to make sure it's tight. Make sure we have our holes right here. And then to make you guys think that I have my life together, we're gonna go ahead and just weave these. I was weaving this end as I went. And normally I don't weave until the end because I like to crochet over. But for our sake, I'm gonna just weave in. So I normally just sort of like to pull through until I can get two of them close together, because then I'm going to tie a knot. Just for extra security, especially this is the middle one. This is the really important like foundation of your granny square. And so then sometimes I'll do, several different knots. I am going to take this one, weave it over a little bit more. Actually, just for the sake of our video, this is another thing you can do. So I'm going to cut these to be similar length. Then I'm going to put these both in the needle. And then you can weave them together. Just kind of makes it easier. Unless it's super fluffy like this. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just gonna keep going. Wrap it around. This is gonna end up being the back of my square. So normally for my purposes, I don't really care if it's too, I wouldn't say ugly. I don't care if it's perfect. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is make this second layer. So grab your next color. I am going to attach the second layer, and this is just how I do it. I found it's the easiest way. So I pull the yarn through, and I just want to make sure my stuff is really secure. I've done it other ways, and I just feel better about this. So I'm just going to tie a knot really tight over that. Again, there are lots of different ways you can do it, but that's my go-to. So I'm going to pull through, and I am going to chain 2. This is actually going to end up being my first double crochet. So I'm going to do 3 total double crochet into here. And since it's a corner, I'll go into that. But that means after I do my chain and I go into my double crochet, that it's already created 2 for me. So now I'm just going to do 1. And that gives me 3 double crochets. In the corners, you are going to do 6 total. So to give you that square, basically to give you that corner that you see. So after you do 3 double crochets, you're going to do 2 chains, and then you're going to double crochet 3 more times in that corner. So 1, 2, I don't like how that looks, so excuse me while I fix that. So that's my 1, that's my 2, and then my 3. Okay, and that's what's going to give us the corner to do the next layer. And so you don't have to do anything special. You're just going to double crochet into the next one. So 1, we're going to do 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then remember, because it's a corner, we are going to chain 2. And then we are going to double crochet 3 again in that same corner. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. This layer is the orange layer here. That's what it's going to turn into. So back into the next one, we're going to double crochet 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a corner, so we chain 2, we do 3 more. It's 1, 2, 3. Again, double crochet 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, double crochet 1, 2, 3. Ooh, don't like how that did it. Okay. So now for this next one, we are going to slip stitch into that top like we did the last time. So that top stitch. And then we're going to fasten off. And then we will weave our ends. I don't know what happened to that little guy right there. I think my yarn must have messed up. This is one of the old ones I did, so yeah, I think that was a yarn issue. Okay, so we're gonna weave these ends again. Actually, just gonna go ahead and tie. I'm gonna do a double knot this time. And then going to bring these guys through and weave them on this side. So now that I've worked with some nicer yarn, I get really annoyed of this yarn, but it's the biggest one I have to show you guys some of these stitches. Okay, I'm gonna do one more knot, I think. No, I'm just gonna pull these through. Just gonna like go back through, make it a little harder to come out. But yeah, once you learn to sort of weave the ends in as you crochet, it's like a game changer. You don't have to do this. So all right, we are going to next work on this blue layer. So I'm going to switch back to pink. We're going to attach the same way we did last time. So I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to tie a knot. And then I am going to chain 2. Remember, this is really our first double crochet, so I need to do 3 So that's gonna, when I do that, it's gonna go ahead and give me 2. And so I just need one more. And again, this is a corner. So to give it that corner shape, I need to do another set of double crochets. So chain 2 and then another set of double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And there's my little hole right here. This pink is kind of blocking a few areas. I don't know why, but still works. Okay, so now we're basically filling these holes, and you only do the 6 every corner. So this hole is only going to be 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we're gonna do 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna chain 2 because it's a corner. And we're gonna do another 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is our side so far. You can see it's starting to get more of that granny square shape. And so on the next one, you'll see we have a lot more spaces to fill in. Okay, since this next one is in the middle, we're just going to be doing 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then next one is a corner. So that means 6. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. Then 1, 2. 3. All right, have another middle. So 1, 2, 3. Then a corner, we have 6. So the great thing about this pattern is this is it. Like this is, you just work in 3s. If you really want to simplify, you know, whenever we do that chain 2, so like 1, 2, let's see, let's add one more. Instead of doing this as a chain 2, you could do chain 3, and then it's just 3s everywhere. It just makes the gaps a little bigger. So that's totally an option. I see that mostly when people use cotton. I have not used cotton in a while because it hurts my hands. But I have been wanting to do some cotton from small businesses. I've wanted to try that out, like hand-dyed cotton, but I haven't found anyone lately. So if you guys know of anybody, let me know. Okay, we have one more set right in the middle. So this is 1, 2, 3. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing we've been doing, which is find that top corner right, I find it right before the hole. I think you can do either one. So if you wanted to do the highest point, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, you could do that highest point. I like mine to be a little closer together, so I always do right next to that hole. You know, hopefully the granny square police does not come for me. I keep missing that hole. Okay. It might come for me if I just can't even find that. Okay. So then we fasten off. So that was slip stitch. I'm so sorry. And then we fasten off. I've seen some people stop here on smaller ones so that they can do different projects. I think this size is pretty cute. It just depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to knot this again. I think I unintentionally crocheted over some of mine. I'm going to double knot. Okay, need to cut this one. I'm going to weave these through. I can't remember which is my ugly side now. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Been flipping it around too much. Okay. So I'm gonna pull this through. Let's just go ahead and snip it. All right, so now we're gonna do the outer circle. Oh my gosh, circle, square. We're not doing granny circles, we're doing granny squares. All right, so I just pick a corner that I like or that I want. So I'm gonna choose this one. We're gonna pull the yarn through. We are going to tie a knot, or you guys are gonna do whatever you want to do to secure it. And then we chain 2. And then we're gonna double crochet. Remember that already has counted as our double crochet once we fasten on. And so there we go. We have 3. We're gonna chain 2. Then I'm gonna double crochet 3 more. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm gonna be kind of quiet to let you gather more thoughts on this outer row, but I am gonna point out a few things. So remember, we only do 3 in these little windows right here, and then we do 6 total right there. So I said I'm going to be quiet. I'll be more quiet. So this is going to be 3. We have 3 again. We have a corner, so this is going to be 3. Then we're going to do 2 chains, 3 again. And when I say 3, I don't like that. When I say 3, I'm talking 3 double crochets. So just like what we've been doing. So you can see almost there. This almost reminds me, I don't know if they have these outside the US, but if you're in the US, those strawberry shortcake popsicle thingies. That's what these colors remind me of. Alright, so I'm going to do 3. We have another window right here. And you guys just pause the video where you need to. I've done this a lot, so I know where the windows are, but you may have to dig around a little bit. You may have to redo some parts. I know I struggled a lot with tension when I first started these. And even when I just moved to a different yarn, so like I've come back to this yarn, I feel like my tension isn't as nice as I want it to be. Okay, so almost done with this row. We're on a corner. So that's going to be 3, chain 2, and then 3 again. So 1, 2. Oh, I told you I'll be quiet. By the way, I just realized my husband's been mowing. I'm going to have to listen to this again to see if you can actually like hear me well or if it's annoying. So I've already filmed this so many times, guys. I don't want to film it again. Okay, but I will if I have to. Okay, so we did 3, chain 2, and then 3. And then I'm going to chain 3 right here. Yeah, you might actually be able to hear him doing yard work. So we have a lot of debris left over from Hurricane Beryl. And it's just been so hot and the mosquitoes have been so bad. So we're kind of forcing ourselves to do yard work this weekend. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next one will be 3. So anyways, that's what you might hear in the backyard. All right, we are almost done. One more side. Okay, this is our last corner. So 1, 2. Gosh, y'all, it's the teacher in me that like can't stop counting and guiding you through this. Maybe. Okay, so that's 3. And then chain 2. Then double crochet 3. Then we're going to just do 3 here because it's a side. Another 3, then we're almost done. Okay, and then we are going to find that top. We're going to slip stitch. And then we're going to fasten off. So it's time to weave our ends. I actually pulled this one a little closer to do a nice little double knot. And then we just need to weave our ends. Everyone say, "Hi, Mr. Lemon." He just walked in and then slowly backed away when he realized I was recording audio specifically. So, oh man, I cut him a little too short. Let's see. It happens. And if this is your first granny square, it will keep happening. This is my last layer for this, and potentially yours. That is so annoying, this keeps flaring out. This is what acrylic does for you. Anyway, so this is my last one, so I want to make sure it's really secure. So I'm actually going to pull that knot back through. I'm going to tie it again, if I can. And then I'm going to cut. I'll hide that little knot down in there. Okay, so this is your granny square, and you can just keep, like, if you want to just keep making it bigger and bigger, if you want to make more with different motifs and different colors, you can. I love using multiple colors and then doing different designs, and so that's typically what I do, but I hope this at least gets you guys started. A little rough and ready, but thus are my tutorials. And let me know if you have any questions, or leave some love in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys soon.